Thank you for tuning in with Dr. Lesia, the preacher. Okay. Well, this video is about gaining understanding after some time has gone by. Gaining understanding from a comment. I was making a video about something, and one of the comments, was it's kind of straight to the point. And I was there and everything, I was hanging with the comment. I got the point of the comment, but still that comment lingered with me. Even though, I felt like I got it and everything. And I actually responded with something and all. But there was something with that comment that lingered with me. And I was watching this video just now of a woman, a stripper, explaining her perception of what men are like and what women are like, you know. And this is a very like a high class stripper kind of person, college educated stripper, um, you know, well presented, well a well put together stripper. Okay. So I'm listening to her and it got me to thinking about that comment. And the comment suggested that, ma'am, basically, your husband cheated on you and you got back at him. And I was like, okay. I mean, like, it could be viewed that way. It could be. When you just get straight to it without considering anything at all. You know what I mean? You don't even have to consider any history, life experience. You don't have to consider anything to get to such a straightforward, you know, response. But, I took it for what it was and responded to it with something. But again, the comment stuck with me because, again, of all the things it did not consider, you know. But today, just moments ago, I realized that the reason why my ex-husbands, the second ex-husband specifically, out of all the cheating men in my life, and like I said, I really don't know a man that hasn't cheated. That's how many men cheat in my life. I don't know one that hasn't, including me. Including me. I'm not even excluding myself, y'all. I don't know anyone that has not cheated most high. We're all guilty of cheating Most High. Yes, we may isolate one another, push each other up against a wall, and collar each other to no end and holler about how we've cheated on one another on this earth. I get it. There's a lot of money to be made when it comes to cheating one another. I understand that. But at the end of any day, we are all guilty of cheating Most High. Whether we agree with it or not, understand it or not, read about it or not, it don't matter. Judgment is here. Judgment is here now and waiting. None of us will be able to escape it. None of us. So we can get straight to the point. We can get straight to the point now. We can. But we're still going to have to consider a lot of things. And the reason why Most High allowed me to give a damn for a few minutes of my life over one little cheating ass man. And I don't even know any men that don't cheat. So why would this one be any different or special? Why is this special cheater different from all the rest of these cheaters out here, including me? I don't even get to hype up my own little cheating time or two. I've only cheated like what? When I was 16, cheated on a guy. I mean, we weren't legally married, and people don't consider teenage relationships a big deal. But to me, that was the first time to me that I was aware of that I hurt or cheated anybody ever. Now, of course, all my life, here I am, 16 years old. Of course, all my life, people have said I've done this and have said I've done that. But that's just what they said. But here I am, 16 years old, for the first time that I'm aware of in my life, I have hurt somebody. And this hurt is called cheating. I took that shit serious. It didn't matter if that particular guy was my age, younger, older. It didn't matter. I did something wrong to somebody. I got a charge on my case. And I spent 2 years proving to myself, with this guy, I stayed with him. I stayed with him. He couldn't trust me no further than he could throw me. And he was a pretty tall guy. He was at least like what, 6'4" and very tall, handsome. I was sold on this guy though. I was sold on him. But I had did something wrong. And regardless to what he thought about me, felt about me, and regardless to what I felt about him, and I did something wrong, guys, and I had to deal with this. I had to deal with this. I started a journal, the high school journal that I, you know, read on this channel. I couldn't believe I hurt somebody. I had to start writing about it. I had to explain myself to myself. That's just how much I believe in love, marriage, commitment. I'm 16 and I committed the greatest crime that exists to me. That's the greatest crime that could possibly happen, is to cheat God. And the first sign that I was on my way to cheating God himself was cheating on this little high school boy. This boy act like the fact that I was, messing around with the guy before him was killing him. He had tears. He had all these words to say. And my thought was, okay, I cheated on you. Well, okay, well, that means we broke up. I'm sorry. Okay, we broke up then. I cheated on you, call me. It's over. Everybody know after you caught cheating, that's it. I screwed up. I'm sorry. Let's go. You know, whatever. It wasn't that easy for him. And I felt, for the first time in my life, I felt, outside of my family, outside of the bloodline, outside of the bloodline, here is somebody outside of the family that feel like I owe them something. I owe them more than I'm sorry. I owe you more than I'm sorry. I owe you more than that. And the evidence were his tears. The evidence was he's holding my hand. He can't let me go. I hurt this boy and he couldn't let me go. I could not understand what was happening. I hurt you. You should be running. But you're here crying about this shit. That blew my mind. At 16, I was such a cold-hearted bitch that I didn't realize me cheating on somebody, which I had never done that before. I mean, just getting really started with this dating stuff. I mean, my family ran through me, but didn't nobody really know about that. Didn't nobody know about that. So, who are you saying I owe you some shit? By this time, I work for my family. I'm a rent collector for my family. I know how to knock on people's doors and get money. I'm knocking on people's doors getting money at 16. I work at the local pharmacy as a technician. I'm a pharmacy technician at 16. I'm one of the head cheerleaders at my high school. I was in dance. I was even in the chess club, computer club. I was doing the damn thing, doing everything at 16. And this boy talking about he hurt. Did he really think I was supposed to give a fuck? I know I'm about to go to college. You know, I've danced on TV. I've danced for a famous poet by now, Dudley Randall. Who the hell is this outsider talking about some feelings and shit? I don't have any. He wanted to kill himself. I'm like, what? I called the church to get him some help. The only thing I could do was just start writing about something that did not make sense to me. Where I come from, somebody hurt you, either you say you're sorry and keep it pushing if you get that much, or you just take a nigga out. But crying in my face is not an option. At 16, this is how I'm wired, y'all. This is how I'm raised to be. So I spent the next 2 years not letting him run game on me, not guilt tripping me, but understanding. I wanted to understand. How can he want to be with me after I hurt him? So immediately, after I cheated on him, he couldn't understand why I had no heart about it. He couldn't understand how I could be so cold about it. And so he immediately went out and cheated on me. But it made sense. Okay, I cheated on you. You cheated on me. We even. Okay, so now we good. Either we gonna stay together and be happy. If you still gonna be tripping, then we really gotta let go now. Once you get your revenge and you still can't keep yourself together, then what the fuck am I supposed to do with that? I'm 16, guys. This is a long time ago. So he cheats on me. A beautiful girl, by the way. I mean, she was fine. Whew, she was so cute. So anyway, I couldn't understand that either. You get back at me and you still tripping. So we spent, the next 2 years just, you know, having a wild time. We were very fun, extremely fun together. Very wild pair of teenagers. Wild. Did whatever we wanted to do. There were no breaks. I had met my twin, my teenage twin. Just a reckless, just reckless. Not a lot of authority in our life. But he had a lot of pain. And I wanted to help him with the pain that I felt that caused. And, I wrote it out. I wrote it out with him until we were both at our next levels in life. He ended up in the military. So basically, he was bound by the law. He couldn't just leave when he wanted to, so he was bound by the law. And I went to college. I went to college and bound my mind by books. I was bound by books and he was bound by the law. And that ended our study. We were studying each other. He wanted to understand me, how he couldn't break me, really. And I wanted to understand why he thought he could, I guess. I don't know, we were just kids. But, I'm from the hood, like, I'm just gonna leave it right there. And he from the same hood, but they were police. I mean, his whole family were police officers. I mean, like, with titles and stuff, you know? We were the kind of reckless teenagers. We would walk into a restaurant on the police break. He knew where the police hung out at. And he liked to tease police officers. I'll just put it that way. His mama was the police. His daddy was police. All his uncles and aunts, they were like, police married to police. The husband and wife are police teams, all up in his family. So we would walk up in restaurants as teenagers. I'm 16, 17. We walking up in restaurants, ordering what we want, walk out without paying the bill. And basically dare somebody to say something. I mean, that's the kind of, I mean, I dated people like this in high school. I mean, like at 14, I was dating a guy, his family owned the restaurant across the street from high school. I could just, if I didn't like what was served in the cafeteria that day, I just climb out the window, go across the street, order what I want from my boyfriend's, you know, people's restaurant and go back to school. After school, he's pulling up in his car and we drive off. This is like at 14, 15. You know what I'm saying? So I lived a different type of teenage life. So again, here's a boy. I'm a teenager. He's showing emotion. I'm not used to that. Where they show emotions at in this world? My baby sister, she was a crybaby, but my baby sister will kill you too. She'll kill you with tears in her eyes. I'm not saying my baby sister ever killed anybody, so rest in peace, sister. But everybody that know you know what I'm talking about. My baby sister was a crybaby, but she would kill you. Why she crying? So don't get it twisted. My baby sister was a G. The doctors told her she wasn't going to see past like age 20, 21. You ain't going to live long. She had a lot of illnesses. She was like, fuck y'all. She had all the kids she wanted to have. She ain't let them stop her from living. You just one little. We were not raised to be no weak girls. It wasn't an option. The weak people die. I ain't dead yet, y'all. I ain't dead yet. No matter what you think you hear on this YouTube channel, some broken-hearted old bust-down wife. I'm glad you hear that. Keep listening. Tune in. But I spent 2 years studying someone, understanding why the hell they're crying over me. What the fuck is wrong with you? Get away from me. Yeah, I want a husband and everything, but you know, the kind that win wars. Yeah, I want a husband, Lord, but I want the kind, like a Terminator or something. I want a Mike Tyson, but not with spankies on. Mike Tyson don't wear no spankies. You look good, bruh, trust, but you better put some regular boxing pants on, shorts or whatever. Just run around in spankies. Anyway, yeah, I don't want no crying ass baby husband. What the fuck? I don't care if my husband is a misogynistic, racist, airhead, fool. I don't care. But when his ass is fighting for me, He better not be crying, I know that. Get your ass out there and win. Stop being weak. I spent 2 years understanding why the hell would a nigga wanna cry over me while I'm cheating on his ass and still wanna fuck me too. I couldn't understand it. It blew my mind. I just wasn't raised to deal with no man like that. Spent 2 years studying him, and then the military got him, and I just went on to the next one. And I realized after that, that's just how these brothers are. I was like, what the hell? What the hell happened? I guess I was just raised by a different type of people. The guys that I hung out with in high school, every day, the ones every day, they ain't act like that I'm aware of. So, as I get on up in life, I realize these men aren't ready to fight. These men are not war ready. They seem to be getting weaker and weaker the older I get. The men get weaker and fall off. This is weird to me. A man is a man, and we can throw all kind of titles on him we want. We can call him white, we can call him black, we can call him racist, we can call him misogynistic, we can call him a narcissist, we can call him whatever. But if his ass get out there and work every day, kicking some ass, winning wars, making money, doing what he got to do, you can call him whatever the hell you want, and he can still work for me. I appreciate all kind of men. I do. I do. There's a place for them all. But men that win, men that lead, they can't be doing it crying. They can't. And they gotta have some kind of character about them. You gotta know what they leading with. You may know, you may not know all they moves. You shouldn't. If you know all the moves, then you need to be leading. You're not gonna know the moves always made. But you better know the character of that man. And you better know that he ain't gonna be just crying, out there piss crying, getting cheated on, and doubling back. You better know that much about your bro, about the leaders. And if they are that type, you gotta know that shit and be prepared. You gotta know the men that lead. You gotta know the men that lead, whether good or bad. You gotta know them and be prepared. Leaders are basically shields. They're gonna take the first hits. How are we gonna protect our leads if we don't know them? The more we know about our leaders, the more we know about our leaders, it increases our chances of winning. It increases our chances of winning. The more we know about our leaders without punishing them, without harming them. We can't harm our leaders and expect for them to help us. You can't bite the hand that feeds you. You can't cut off the hand that leads you. I knew my husband was wrong for 25 years. I knew it. But how dare I make it seem that way? How could we win otherwise? Even if he left, okay, I saw it coming anyway and told him about it. How can he lead without the feed? How can he lead without the feed? And I fed him well. I fed him enough where he could take off. That's what assistants do. Every assistant, every second in command, feed the lead so well that they will either take off as they should or stay. I don't want nobody standing in my way. How can I ever be the star if I don't launch everyone else around me? I didn't want no husband sitting around farting on me forever. Go on and launch. Be your best. Go. All the kids, be your best. I'm feeding y'all good shit. Go. There's other ways to repay me. So many ways. I may look hurt. I may be talking a lot of shit. But my work is my work. My people are gonna launch. They're gonna go. And they don't have to lie, cheat, steal, or nothing from me. They don't. They don't. I took 2 years of my life when I was 16 years old. I stayed with a guy so that I would know for the rest of my life and understand what it looked like, sound like, what it is like when I hurt somebody because I had no idea before him. I had no idea. So throughout my life, he became a standard for me to know if people act like him, you know, he taught me how to feel what his behavior meant. And so through life, if people act certain ways or said certain things or, you know what I mean? I could, I knew I had to slow down a little bit. Oh, I got to pay attention. They need me to, you know, pay attention. So in many ways, I mean, he taught me to be a mother. Other than just, you know, providing. It takes more than provision to be a parent in general. But he taught me to pay attention to people, pay attention to emotions, pay attention to what people say. Don't just run past me with the words, I'm sorry, and keep going. And he was actually the kind of guy that, rebuilt cars and race them. He was like a race car driver in high school. This boy was a race car driver in high school. He knew how to rebuild cars as a hobby and actually put them on the track. I was with him. I watched him. I was the girlfriend that sat there in the summers and, you know, when I didn't have anything else to do, I was busy myself. But, I'd sit there and watch him rebuild cars and we would go race them. We were weird like that. So anyway, but I learned from him just how to slow down a little bit in life and pay attention. It's not always about being first and winning. It's not always about being first and winning. And I was like, dang, okay, fine. Yeah. Okay, guys, I guess that was the message for it, for now. And it all came from listening to a stripper. And you're probably like, why are you listening to a stripper? Why not listen to a stripper? Why not? Remember that song we was well, my kids were little. I'm in love with a stripper. Remember that song? I was like, oh my God. My boys were so little. I was so embarrassed. They came on the radio and they would not stop singing it. I was like, oh God. They were like 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, in that age group. And that song came on and they just played it nonstop on the radio. I'm in love with a stripper. And I was like, oh God. Okay, how do I, get through this? And strippers are not bad people. They're not bad people. It's a job. No one's getting arrested for doing it. They're getting their bills paid. But some strippers talk to their clients, and their clients tell stories. And some strippers, once they're retired, they go and they share their stories. This is how we know, you know, this is the evidence, the proof of why men end up in strip clubs, picking up prostitutes on the street, watch porn 24/7. This is why sex work industry, front end satisfaction, front end sex work, front end sex work, where you collect the money up front instead of getting legally married and waiting for people to die and collecting on the back end. Wives are back end collectors and hoes are front end collectors. You know, it's still sex work. You got to have sex to get the money. On the front end, it's called hoes. On the back end, it's called wives. But both type of women use sex to get that money. Tapping that ass on the front end and the back end. Period. So that's why we have to be more honest in church. And that's why I take women like me who are considered hoes or whatever, dancers, strippers, hoes, performers, entertainers. You know, we have to explain this. We got to be more upfront about it because we're too many people are losing all on the game board of life. Too many people are losing now. Everyone has to kind of like show their hand, play, and explain their game. So here we are. And I've been playing on both sides of life. I've been collecting on both sides of life, the front end and back end. I've been a wife, a legal wife for 32 years. But because, I understand how men lead, even though I don't agree with their leadership, I know how they lead and I know how to feed them so that we all can win. Leadership, leadership news feed, leadership news feed. It's a tongue twister. So anyway, I know how to collect on the front end and the back end. It just depends on the man. He lets you know how he want to pay. And I'm like, I'm cool either way. You can be the president of the United States, or you can be the head pooper scooper in our neighborhood. Whatever you do, boo, I gotta collect. Either on the front or the back, all through the middle. Some girls just know how to work it. Some girls can work the front, the middle, and the back of all rooms, all men, the planet. Most High gonna get his. He gonna get his money now, one way or the other. He's gonna get you, one way or another. I'm gonna get you. That's Most High. That's his relationship with men. Now his relationship with women is totally different. With men, he want that money. With women, he want that ass. This is Most High. I mean, he just use us as people to get the work done. Men, he gonna get that money, and women, he gonna get that ass. And we can't get around it. We can't get around it. No matter what we wear, no matter what we change up and alter, that's just how the game go. And when we try to, switch it up and change things around and whatever, he still know how to, what they say, like sift through, discern, and get his. All right, guys, let me get off of here. I'm just talking. Okay. You all be blessed. Love you. Oh yeah. So yeah, that comment, the comment. Yeah, life can be that dry, but most high, he don't want to be cheated. He want all his money and all his ass. Period. So yeah, my husband cheated, and it may look like I just simply, got back at him and just end up looking like a broke hoe while he got another hoe wife. It can look like that. Yes. Now understand how you can just get straight to it like that, like an arrow, like a bow and arrow. I get that. But Most High is the debt collector of all. And he know it's more meat on that bone. And when there's meat on that bone, that means there's some cash and ass. Cash and ass when there's still meat on the bone. I'm sorry, Most High In my mind, God, Jesus, is a brother from the hood. That's just the way I hear people talking in my head. I mean, you cannot erase the voices in your head. They're the people that you used to know or still do in some cases. You know what I'm saying? No college degree can erase me. All right, guys. Love you. Bye. Oh, yeah. Somebody was making a funny comment about me dancing at the bar last night. No, I had just dropped I had picked my grandson up from work and dropped him off to go hang out with his friends. Okay, so after I done took care of my kids and grandkids with their social life, I said, let me just stop by the local bar. You know, we always go there for burgers and fries and stuff. It's a bar and grill, so it's not like like DrLesiaThePreacha just at the bar, picking up guys. I mean, I don't have a problem hanging out at bars and meeting anybody. So anyway, so I stopped by to get my little drink. I didn't even get a meal this time, just my little beer. Just be to myself for a minute while I'm being taxi mom and grandma. And so the gentleman next to me decided to just start talking. Older man, like, hey, old man, hey. And he was talking about how, his days in a band. And I'm like, you play? Oh my God, you guys know I love live bands. And, I'm and so he's like, yeah, you want to see? I'm like, yeah, sure. So he pulls up this music video that he was in. He was the drummer from back in the 80s or something or whatever, 90s or something. And I was like, oh, how cool. And he mentioned the name of the band or whatever, and that was cool. Um, so, we were watching his band and he's the drummer and all that. And, you guys know I dated, well, those who follow my channel, I dated a guy briefly, well, a couple years in California that was no, he was a bass guitar player. Yeah. And so, I've hung out with a band before. And, Diz, rest in peace, he died in 2017. Yeah. That was the year the Sugar Baby was just off the chain that year, guys. Oh my gosh, she just, ugh. And so one of my lovers died, and I couldn't even really, because that was the Sugar Baby's year. So yeah, I had a cousin die that year. My godmother died that year, and a lover died that year. But that was such a crazy year. It was just a crazy year for the family. That was the year the family really broke up. 2017. 2017 was the year the family really broke up. But it took 3 years after that before my husband, which is the lead, decided to do anything about it. As an assistant, you can't just rise up and crawl over and dominate over the lead. Not in my not I don't roll like that. Now some women do. Some women will just bust right over the lead and do whatever the fuck they want. Well, I ain't do that. My husband, I knew he was a procrastinator. Anytime I suggest something, I knew it was going to take at least 2 years. I already knew that. So in 2017, I had already contact legal aid and sought a lawyer and spelled it all out for him because I knew I knew him. And then I dropped it. I was led to drop it. Give him all the facts, drop it. I'm a news feeder to the league. Okay. Dropped it. And it took him 3 years to pick the ball back up and actually file for divorce. But I did all the legwork, guys. So yeah, I prepared the divorce, legally prepared it. All he had to do was just take it and go file it, you know, himself. I mean, I can't be the wife and the husband. I can't, and I didn't try. All I could do was give him the information, be the helper, give him all the information he needed to be the lead. All the encouragement, all the information, research. That's all I could do. But you can't actually be the lead unless, the lead handed over to you. And once he filed for divorce, that was his way of handing it over to me. But all my work was already in place. So technically, I'm just sitting on my own work right now, crying. Well, that's what I had been doing. I'm in a much better position now, guys. But I still open up and shed some tears for you guys, give it to you because I mean it's dry without it. Life is dry without tears, without water, without wetness, without moisture. It's just kind of dry to the bone. I like a little meat, a little heat. I don't mind having a little cash and ass. That's just me personally. Let me get off of here because I get crazy. I'm buck wild. Okay. Love you guys. Be blessed. So yeah. I like meat on the bone. I like, you know, spend a little time with things. Yeah, I can get straight to it. It can be cut and dry, yeah. But I don't mind spending a little cash, playing with ass. I don't mind. You know, getting a little more details, asking a few more questions, getting a little more knowledge and understanding. Play the game a little more. I don't mind extended release. Extended release. There you extended release capsules. All right, guys. Okay, bye.